right. So I prepared a lot of questions, and I had a lot of, and now I got even more questions after this interesting presentations. And Annette, you talked about overcapacity. In a trade network. You target overcapacity. Well, we have a lot of overcapacity in Motala, 25% youth unemployment. Okay. Yeah, so we have a lot of young people in need of work. Could your system provide incentives for the local businesses to employ more people?
I don't know. Because you're not able to, well, you could pay bonuses and stuff in TradeQoin. That is possible, but if you employ people, you really need to pay them a minimum wage, and that you have to do that in the legal currency of your country. I think that's the way in the Netherlands and probably in Sweden as well. But maybe to get people going and to give them the experience, you could pay them in TradeQoin, and but you could only. I think you can only do that when you have an adult network. When there's there's a lot of things you can buy within a network. Then that might work. Yeah. Yeah.
So how many members in the network are we talking about? Like 1,000?
Yes, 1,000 will do. Yeah.
1,000 will do.
Yeah.
So we have a quite small municipality here. We have like 42,000 inhabitants. Maybe should we have our own network here in Motala, or should we have a regional one?
I think a regional would be better.
Yeah.
Yeah, I think
from the start.
It depends. I know an example in Washington. They have a really small network. It has only 350 businesses, and they are really successful. And but it all has to do about offer and demand. If offer and demand are in line, and you are able to trade a lot of things and a lot of items and services within the network, yes, then you could do with a smaller network. That could really work. But then it's about not the quantity of the network; it's about the quality of the network, and you really need to investigate what people need or what businesses need.
Interesting. We have this network of work integrated cooperatives in East Sweden. I don't know exactly how many they are, but a couple of dozen, and Kooptjänst, of course, which is quite large. Could we create a trading cooperative between these cooperatives?
Once again, it's all about offer and demand. Yeah. If you should be able to earn within a network, and you should be able to spend. So if those two connect in that same sense, then it could work. Yeah. Yeah. If the cooperatives have to offer what all the businesses need or want.
Right.
Yeah.
So you're looking for investors, right?
Yes. Yeah. We build our network in the Netherlands with a European subsidy. So this at the start, the first year we were financed, and now we're trying to grow our network, and we're starting to make some turnover, so that's good. But we want to grow a bit faster, and we want to copy everything throughout the Netherlands and Europe. So that's why we're trying to find investors. Yeah.
So what's in it for the investors?
Well, you can make money out of a trade exchange. We have a social purpose, but we don't mind making a little bit of profit. So because if that is what triggers the investors, then they could make.
Who are the owners today? Perhaps you showed it, but I didn't know.
As of now, TradeQoin is the owner. So once.
But who's the owner of the TradeQoin
then? There's two directors that are the owners of TradeQoin.
Oh, two persons.
Yeah, 2 persons.
And that's Coin.
And that's Coin.
That's Coin. Yeah.
As you were talking about a cooperative, I thought that was a little bit thin cooperative.
No. We plan to make it a cooperative once we have 300 businesses.
Right.
Okay.
So then the owners of then the businesses will have a say in how it goes. Right. And yeah.
So if we started when you have reached 300 members, and we started a TradeQoin exchange. Here, we would own it ourselves, and we would be a participant in the whole European network.
Yes.
And part owner of the whole.
Yes.
1, 2. Det var bättre. Okej. Jag som har gått sångkurser och allting, jag ska ju ha sånt här. Magstöd. All right, so what benefits could we see trading like this across Europe?
I think mainly in hospitality, in tourism. Yeah, that's what we see happening between the different trade exchange networks in the world. So for hotels, for traveling, for restaurants, that really works intertrading between networks. Within the TradeQoin network, that would not be a problem because we have the same currency. If you want to trade, like say, with a trade exchange network in the United States, there's the universal currency. It's a universal currency that is used to intertrade between different kinds of trade exchange organizations.
I know Dutch people really like fishing up here.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
Because
I
skating.
Skating. Yeah.
Yeah. So Lelle, you are also interested in going abroad, right?
Yes, perhaps talking about this, we're having a little bit affair with your little sister to you, Let's. For 10-15 years ago, it was established in Gothenburg and some places, and we tried to establish that on a village level only, with a local village shop and individuals around it. But it was too much work for a too small place, so it didn't work there. But I think there are exciting ideas about this. But if we are going to abroad, we are now in heavy discussions, and we have some people involved in discussion how, if we want to spread our model to all municipals in Östergötland first and to our neighbor counties. That is the first discussion. We are talking about how big can you be. The main problem is how big can you be with still having a living democracy in it. That is our soul. And we're not finished with that, but many are interested in our model, and we don't like social franchising, so we have to, if we want to do it, we have to do it to offer something else, but we don't know yet what it will be.
Right. I mean, as we said, social enterprises has had a hard time getting credits. But you still need a security for TradeQoins as well, right? Or how do you go about that?
No, we don't ask for, you don't have, if you want a credit line, that's what you're asking.
Yeah.
We have, it's a part of good brokering. So we do a credit check. We do see if your business is a healthy business. So we look at your books. But then, so that's the first thing. But then the most important question is, will you be able to earn back your credit line? And that's, you have to know your market in order to give a good answer to that. And that's, what we're doing. So good brokering is really, really important. I think it was in a film that Richard showed us, that one of the bankers said, I used to know my customer. I would know that he was good for his money. And I think it's the same way, like that we are doing that right now. We listen to our customers, we listen to what they need, and so we can decide and together with them if they will be able to earn it back. And it's the same thing with spending. There have been businesses where I talked to that I said, I don't think it would be really wise of you to participate within a network because you are not able to spend. You might be able to earn, but if you have a legal department within your company, if you have your own computer guys, if you have you have your own building so you don't need to rent it, if you have your own printing department, then there's not a lot of other costs and salaries and the cost of your building that you have. So it's not, probably you will not be spending within a network, and then it's not a wise decision to participate. So that's what we look into, really getting to know our customers, knowing what they want, and do the credit check, and then.
And that's why you need small local networks.
Exactly. Yeah.
Right. Okay. Lelle was talking about qualified jobs, even within the work integrated social cooperative movement, and we need more qualified jobs. Could this be a job for more high school people. We have a lot of academics and high school people long-term unemployed here.
Could be. Yeah.
Could be. Yeah.
Could be. It's the way we are working now. We are really looking into our resources, and we call it a participation job. It's for people that have been unemployed for a longer time and have like a big distance to the market, and we give them the opportunity to get some experience and to work within our organization. Yeah, and, I had 2 really talented people, and it took us a lot of effort, to get them going and to get them on a certain level, but it's really rewarding to do that. So
right,
that's
because you need training, right? This is a very special job. You don't go to the university to become a trade exchange broker.
No, you really have to understand what goes around in businesses. You really need to understand what they need. I have a history within the temporary employment business, so in my former job.
Many have that in Sweden as well, I can tell you.
So, I used to, I know what businesses need. I know what it goes about. So that's important, yeah.
A big challenge for us is that people in general, and that both politicians, civil servants, and all we are working together, have a very fixed bill of how unemployed people look like. But there are many academics, especially with the immigrants, of course, but even Swedish academics who had made some bad choices at university, what program they are reading, or something has happened. So that's what I'm stressing with skillful jobs. It's not just cleaning gardens. We need this step-in jobs also, but we have to have the full scale of jobs. And the problem is because if we're going to work with people, the individual wants to do this, of course, but we have to have some civil servant, either in the municipal or unemployed agency, recommend them to take part in our program. Otherwise, it doesn't work. And that's an obstacle, because they don't think working cooperative for these people, shall they drive their own businesses, and they are selecting away people. I think that will be very, very nice to have in our organization.
But some people really aren't up for the job to have their own company, right? They need some support, and that is what Kooptjänst is providing, and others.
You can do what you're good at, and other people do what you don't. Right. It's about the same idea. So it's very inspiring, even if I don't think we are going into this because by economic reasons, because we do it better ourselves, I think. But we can get inspired by the idea, and it isn't either that or that one. Both these systems are very, very attractive, I think, in especially making the local market grow instead of joining some website or whatever. Do it locally. I think you can build something strong.
We were talking about economic stability earlier today with Professor Werner, and there's another economist called Bernard Lietaer. You heard about him? Yeah? Yes, of course. And he discusses, he claims that a system like your system, and the VIR, especially in Switzerland, is a complementary way of getting economic stability. So if you have a deflationary crisis, the trade within a network like this will go up. And if you, under regular economical circumstances, it will help in a complementary way.
It will have a bigger effect when there's an economic downturn, but it will certainly also help when you have like a flourishing economy, because that's what I said, if you have overcapacity, then you are able to make more profits and to do better. Right. So
so this could be a way to guard us here in Sweden against the next financial crisis.
Yes, then you should.
You see lots of examples in, as I said, in Greece, Spain, Italy, Portugal. This is. I think the growing economy in France is just making companies that got in bankruptcy into cooperatives. That is a growth factor in France right now. It's a way of defending yourself. When you're against the wall, you work like this, of course, to survive. I think it's...
There's a very good example in Sardinia, the Italian island. They build a network in a really fast way, the Sardex, and it's really successful. Yeah.
So if somebody would like to start a trade exchange, TradeQoin or their own trade exchange, what do they have to do?
They really,
they have how much money do they need?
Yeah. Well, we say that you need about 150 to 200,000 euros to get through the first 2 years, and then you reach a break even, and you can earn it, and you earn it back. So you really need some startup money.
So how much possibility of profit is there in the business?
Well, it depends.
I know Bodycard is really huge.
Yeah, Bodycard is really huge, and is really, it's all about profit.
Yeah.
It's not about it's about stimulating the local economy, but it is about profit. And I don't know if there's something wrong with that. I mean, if it has a good impact on the local economy, then why not make a little bit of money out of that too? Yeah. But in our situation, we are not in it for the big money. We want to make the money in order to grow the network further and to make sure that there's good brokers, and there's you really need to make some money because you need good brokers and community management to do this successfully.
Right. But you could do like the microfund here in Sweden is in need of money. Like the profits from a trade exchange network be used in order to fund a microfund like that, or some other source of social investment capital?
You could. I think you could. We are planning, but that's something to be decided by the business owners that participate. What we want to do is we have a transaction fee of 5%. It's now in TradeQoin, but it could be in euros as well. And 1% goes into the guarantee fund, and we want 1% to go to like a regional fund. And so we build a capital in TradeQoin or in euros, and you could use that for every purpose that you find fit, which is good for your environment, or which is good for the local economy, or like more like a social responsibility thing. So yes, that is possible. Yeah.
Interesting. Any questions from the audience? Okay. Now I'm going to give you the mic this time. Yeah.
Yes, I wonder, when you are discussing this with the unemployment and the problems to get jobs for people, have you ever thought about the situation that most businesses they want to have a profit, and also for example in Sweden, the government is required that all the public agencies, they should during a time scale, they should have also average profit, and this means that somebody must have a loss, the ordinary people. Are you thinking about that?
No, I don't want to express it that way. All costs we have to pay it. We don't need to have a profit above that, actually. The money, if we take in more money and then we have costs, then we can do something nice with the money, and then... Yes, of course. There's no... to own one part of the cooperative costs you 100 crowns, and you don't get any avkastning. No, we don't share out money, but all are involved in discussions. How shall we use this? And it's a hard mix of how many do we dare to employ, what investments do we have to invest in working environment, and so on. And this is our alternate to greed. You don't get rich here, but you will have to be able to have some ideas. We are interviewing people when they're coming to us. What are you educated for? What have you been working for? But mostly, what are you dreaming of? Because if the idea you are coming with, if that's going to be real, someone else is not going to do it for you. You will have to do it in cooperation with some others. And then you have to have some really, really hard energy, like you're starting your own businesses. It's the same energy you need, But here we can make it happen, perhaps. And if I shall try to point out possibilities, if you see these worst guys, the guys between 16 and 30 on football games or in the streets or in criminal or whatever activity, the energy these guys have, if you can transform this into a real business workshop, it's like running reactors. You have to catch the energy to put it in some good manners, and then you can make fantastic things. There's one cooperative in Sweden that's really, really amazing. It's Basta West. It's by some reason there have been most men in this heavy addicts before. They've been on heroin and morphine and so on. And they have been working the last 5-10 years of their career by drugs. And they take this working capability into a new company. And they really work like hell in illegal, without drugs of course. And I've been visiting them sometimes. And if you want to see some driving force, you get smashed if you go and visit them. That's talking about turning pictures in what's impossible, what's problem. And I'm fascinating to make problems to solutions. I think that's the challenge.
Yes?
I'm a bit curious. In a closed trading community, how is the exchange value decided? Or is the market mechanism the competition between two enterprises having the same offer?
That's why we chose the same value as the euro. So that's what we. Within our network, we ask for regular prices. The price that you ask in TradeQoin will be the same price as you would ask in euro. So it's always, in that sense, an honest deal. So.
But in an open market, you're so trained to look for a company that have a lower price. So that's, I wonder, is the decided price among the members for different services?
No, that's not the case. Well, there's different, like in my network, I have like 3 law firms. So you could shop around and see which company suits you best or has the best price. But it's all, you always have to make the decision, am I going to do this in a trade, do I going to make a trade deal within the TradeQoin network, or am I going outside of the network and maybe spend some, a little bit less euros, but then I'm not going to buy it within, maybe not within my region. So that's always a decision you have to make by yourself. Am I going to spend TradeQoin and save euros, or am I going for a TradeQoin deal that might be a bit cheaper? But you know, our experience is that once you have TradeQoins, you prefer spending them first. So we ask for honest prices, and you know, yeah.
How do you tax?
We do, the same way as you would do for in a euro deal. Yeah. So you have to, you know, do the bookkeeping the same way as you would do in a krone deal or a euro deal. So you add it in your books, and then you have to pay cash over that in euros. But the things that you can claim, so you pay, like if you pay taxes in TradeQoin, you can claim it back from the tax authority in euros. But it goes the other way around too. Yeah.
Any more questions? I have one actually. In the first seminar we were talking a bit about Bitcoin. What's the difference between a TradeQoin and a Bitcoin?
Well, there's one similarity, and they're both digital currencies. But you cannot, you know, you can buy a Bitcoin. It's a currency. You know, does everybody know how Bitcoin works, or? I can only tell it in a childish kind of way. That's how it was explained to me. It's a cryptocurrency, you have these. There was one person, and maybe Richard can tell me the name that he uses, like Sakamoto something, and he made some mathematical problems, and if you solve this problem first, you can mine a Bitcoin. So it's like the modern gold digging. You do it with your computer. And back in the days when this started, there was 20 million TradeQoins that were hidden in those mathematical problems. Once my colleague Rob, he had his computer at home and he mined like 19 Bitcoins, and for years they were worth nothing, so he gave them away. Wow, that cost him a lot of money. But now, when there's I think a little less than 1 million Bitcoins hidden within those cryptocurrencies, and you will not be able as an individual to mine them. So now it's a currency that you can buy, and it's how do you call that, a speculation currency. So you can buy the Bitcoin and you cannot mine them as an individual. With TradeQoin, it's completely different. You cannot buy a TradeQoin. You can only earn it within the network. So and the value of the TradeQoin is established by the products and services that go around. So that's So there's not very many similarities. Yeah.
I was wondering about the beer currency in Switzerland. Is it more integrated into the consumer economy? Can you pay wages in beer, or do you know about that?
Do you know that? I don't think so.
I don't think so.
No, me neither. No, I think it's purely business. What we want to do when we grow our network, and what we plan to do, and it's something that will happen over time, and we will see if we really get to that. We plan to open up our network for consumers, and for consumers to be able to buy a TradeQoin, and then that will grow the business of the participating businesses. And with the euros that we earn by selling those TradeQoins, we could provide like energy or electrical services or whatever. So we plan to do that because it could be a big advantage for the businesses. But we have to go a couple of years ahead, I think, to really know and find out if that is really possible.
I heard that the VIR is also into banking nowadays, so it has both a cooperative locally bank.
They have a bank, how do you call it, a bank license, and that's a big advantage because now when there's a bankruptcy, they have rights to within that bankruptcy. In our case, that's not the case. It's a risk you really have to cover. Yeah.
Okay. Any more questions?
I forgot one thing about our economy. We have been placed. We are a member of the JAK. This bank is free of interest, so we have also the possibility of giving the loan possibilities without giving out a loan. So I forgot that details.
In the 1880s, Johnstown, Pennsylvania had a terrible flood, and the hero of that flood was somebody who owned a steel company. A few years later, they had a recession, and he had orders, but his people couldn't pay him on time, so he couldn't pay his workers. So he issued his own currency, but he was not allowed to pay them in his own currency. So he paid them at the payroll window, and his workers voluntarily went over to the next window and bought some of his currency at the next window. So it was technically they were paid in cash, but they gave the cash back and took the alternate currency.
Okay, I'll think about that.
All right. Any more questions?
Local trust.
Yeah.
Probably some have heard of it. There used to be a rush of local currencies in England. They were retail currencies, local exchange trading schemes. I think the first one was called the Stroud. But they all died in the end because of the tax. The Inland Revenue didn't like them because it wasn't properly integrated. But of course it also shows that the way the tax system operates is about the same as trying to lubricate a machine with sand. It's very, very destructive. I think we don't seem to be sufficiently aware of it, partly because it's a deduction that's hidden away in a paycheck somewhere, but it has a very real effect. What do you have a view on that?
Is it for me, the question?
Either.
I don't know.
Is there any way of working around that so that it was actually more attractive to
go around the tax authority
in some kind of legal way, that they give a bit of a concession to stop the damage that they themselves are doing?
Wow, I could not answer your question, sorry.
I've read the web page from the tax authorities in Sweden about border exchanges, and I know for a fact that the answer is no.
Thank you very much. On this point, just a thought: are there local taxes that have to be paid to local authorities? And that's perhaps where there potentially could be some leeway if the local authorities don't have to transfer this to the central government. Then the local authorities could potentially, some lawyer would have to check this, allow people to pay in a local currency, a community currency, for the local taxes.
I think that's happening in Bristol, where you can pay taxes in the Bristol pound. Yeah. But that's a system where you change, like it's a local currency for businesses. It's for stimulating the local businesses. So you buy your Bristol pounds. So, and if you pay like £10 sterling, you get 11 Bristol pounds. So you have like 10% discount, and it stimulates people to buy locally. And I know for a fact that I think the mayor accepts his wages in Bristol pounds, and part of the taxes can be paid in Bristol pounds as well. But that is a currency where they can change it back into pound sterling, and that makes it maybe a little bit easier to do that.
It's far away in Sweden, I think. Very, very far away.
Well, actually we have one municipality in Sweden that has a local currency, and that is Höganäs kommun, the municipality of Höganäs. The municipality itself created a local currency called Euronäs. So it's backed by euros. So, any more questions?
Make a reminder of signing up for Mingle.
Yes. If you haven't signed up for the Mingle session at 16:30 at Hotel Nostalgie, please do so if you want to come. There will be free food and drinks. And thank you very much. A big thanks to our guests.
Okay.